Prince Harry's longtime friends from England are speaking out. They aren't holding back, and they are spot on.
We want privacy! We want privacy! We want privacy! We want privacy!
Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I am Andy Signor, and a great profile by Roya Nika over here at the Times. Sorry if I said her last name wrong, but I really appreciated what she put together here. It's a really strong piece that goes into Harry's people, his people in England who are calling out and clearly just are sad for him. Prince Harry is going to be hitting 40. I can't believe I'm older than him, but he'll be hitting 40, and all he does is spend time looking back. Facts. As he's preparing for his milestone birthday, Roya spoke to people who knew him and talk about how he's a prince in search of a purpose. Here are the key points in this article, which I do implore you to check out on your own time as well. Go support it. Old friends of Harry say they cannot imagine he is enjoying his gilded exile in California. Facts. Tell me which ones you think are facts here. Friends say William does not want Harry to come to his coronation, whenever that might be. The brothers are not thought to have spoken in nearly 2 years. They are estranged, which is dreadfully sad. I agree with that as well. It shouldn't be this way, but it is. The king is frustrated that Harry is continuing to fight the government over his security in the UK. Charles worries Harry wants to lobby him on the issue, but he will not intervene. Also, I believe this as well. Harry and Meghan did not attend a family briefing on the Queen's funeral the night before the service and were not sent the briefing notes until late that night. Events that are said to have wounded Harry. Well, what would you expect when you started talking out of turn? Harry has a new father figure in a neighbor, the Canadian music mogul David Foster, who is at 74, a year younger than King Charles. Interesting. I didn't know about that, if that's true. Former aides ask, what is the purpose of Prince Harry, and what is Prince Harry's purpose? He must be wondering, where do I go from here? Yep. Spot on. Now, look, I implore you to go through this whole piece, but I wanted to go through some of these quotes that come in from people who know him. September 15th is Harry's birthday. And here's what some people are saying as he seems torn between battling old demons and getting on with his life. All he does is spend time looking back, says one former advisor to Harry. If only he could wrench his neck around and look forward. Some who have known him since his army days, the time in his life he seemed to have given his strongest sense of self and inspired him to launch Invictus Games. You'd think he'd stay in touch with his army pals, which is such an important part of his life, right? What is the purpose of Prince Harry, and what is Prince Harry's purpose? One of his former aides puts it. He loved the army and was very good at his job. The work with Invictus is great, and fatherhood was the role he most wanted, so perhaps those are enough for him, but everything else is a bit woolly. I always thought he wanted more from life. I can't help but think he must be wondering, where do I go from here? As he nears his 5th decade, he's thinking carefully about his next chapter, and there are signs that he's taking a breath from getting it all off his chest. He spoke, obviously, to Oprah, wrote the book and everything else. Netflix. Close friend of Harry reflects on how things have panned out since the late Queen decided in January 2020 that there could be no half in, half out. He made his decision to leave for his family. That was the right choice, and he has no regrets. One of the primary reasons for them leaving the UK was the institutional and media issues they felt they faced. So for that, they must feel vindicated. But did he get what he wanted? No. The perfect scenario was to get what they originally asked for. We'd like to move and still be semi-royals. So they're finding another way of doing it. Facts. What's what I like about this piece is it's not like fully anti-Harry and Meghan. It's people being honest about it. And this is where it all stems from. Is another way to be royal possible? Can Harry maintain a gilded existence in exile? And will that be enough to satisfy a man whose biography on the Sussex.com website describes him as humanitarian, military veteran, mental health advocate, environmental campaigner? It's a lot of hats he's trying to wear. Speaking of exile in America, Harry said of their move, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. I miss the UK. Some friends are unconvinced that life has turned out the way he wanted. I know how important it is for him to have a happy, settled family life, but you need to do more than that if you're him, says a source who's known Harry since his teenage years. he has ended up isolated from his family and most of his old mates in an environment where your friendships are not like the ones you forged as a young man. He used to love a night out at the pub and hanging out in the country with friends. Maybe he's grown into a different person, but I do think he'd really suit. But do I think he'd really suit the Californian lifestyle? No. Now we've seen it all play out. What has that left him with? On the surface, an enviable lifestyle. But for the Harry I know, I can't imagine that gilded exile in California is where he wanted to end up. Montecito, as they point out, with Gwyneth Paltrow and all these people. His mother-in-law always often visiting. She's staying close to her, but Harry doesn't really get to have anybody. And he is having to forge new friendships. Now they're close to this David Forrester, who apparently said Harry and her husband are like father and son, but with Harry old pals, school friends, who are the trusted confidants for decades. Where have they gone? He's still in touch with Charlie von Strabensee, school friend from Ludgrove, and Mark Dyer, a former equerry to the king. It was a close aide to Harry and William. Both are godparents to Archie, but the aftershock of his split from the royal family has shrunk his friendship group. I miss my friends. I've lost a few friends in the process. He did admit that in his Netflix series. Now, a lot of people aren't going to forgive him for what he did. In fact, one of his closest friends says, I can't believe he stooped so low. It's outrageously disloyal. Oprah, Netflix, and the book, they're 3 strikes and you're out. Another friend of William and Harry says, Harry and Meghan could have left with dignity and decency and not trashed the institution. The conclusion is they've made money from trashing his family. Facts! Keep bringing up all the facts. One of Harry's oldest friends says they are among the few who get the odd WhatsApp from him, adding, he's an angry boy. Things haven't turned out how he wanted. I think he misses being over here in Britain desperately and wants to be admired more. Anyone who knows him feels he'd rather be top of the pops here with everyone loving him as they do with William and Kate. Ooh, but after quitting the institution, a majority of Britain's support and losing all of that, will Harry ever be able to be top pops again? A YouGov poll earlier this year showed that the Princess of Wales was the most popular royal, followed by her husband Harry, and Meghan languished near the bottom. Only Prince Andrew was less popular than the Brits. So, yeah, look, as this continues, and you should definitely check it out, these pals are not holding back. They clearly aren't having it. It was sad to see. He used to have lots of friends coming around to see him, army mates, polo friends, and they just tailed off. Then it was this yoga guru, the well-being guru, everyone saying we must eat less meat and fly less. We were all scratching our heads as to why they were taking private jets. These are people who worked and then drifted home. As we're getting all this in, it's clear. I agree with these friends. I really don't think he can be as happy. I just don't. They talk about how he wasn't involved in the final preparations after his grandmother died, and how he feels these decisions were intentional, etc. But dude, what do you expect they're gonna do when you're out there selling secrets? Disgusting, shameful. The Sussexes understood that they would be at Buckingham Palace at the eve of the funeral, yada, yada, yada. It was later then rescinded the invite. I don't understand why they're so surprised. I don't understand it. The key to healing the rift, Harry keeps his hopes of reconciliation after Charles revealed his cancer diagnosis, as we know. The fact that I was able to get on a plane to see him and spend some time with him, I'm grateful for that. Any illness, sickness brings families together. Well, I don't think it's going to do it here. There was no reunion. However, when Harry returned to London later, the king clearly avoided him. And so he tried to play it like, oh yeah, of course. But then he tried to throw the king, his father, under the bus by also trying to, why didn't he? This legal battle has become a big stress for the king as well. And so all of this, God, there was so much press he put out there. He was everywhere selling my story, my words. The press tour was awful. So, yeah, The Spare, the book, that's what's going to be the problem. A friend of both concedes. I always said the brothers would be there for each other at the end of the day, and that's been proven wrong so far. Another close friend says Harry simply cannot do without his brother, but William appears committed to making do without his sibling. For now, he's written Harry out of his script. The brothers are understood not to have spoken since the Queen's funeral, where they barely exchanged a word. That's what Harry wrote in Spare. Yeah, that's what I thought. So, look, can these two mend fences? I think it's far too gone. The fact that all these close friends of Harry's are now speaking, and granted anonymously, but I'm sure Harry can assume who some of these people are. The fact that they're speaking, and I don't think they're speaking so ill of him. They're looking out, saying, "Dude, what'd you do? This is on you, man. You've made this hole that you're sleeping in. Deal with it." So to see them calling him out, angry boy, etc., man, it's spot on. Am I wrong? I do think Harry's become an angry boy. He's trying to distract it all with the charitable work and the trips to Colombia, and he loves these moments that make him look like he's the big deal. But at the end of the day, he does not have the respect that he used to, and could if he didn't crap on his family. And again, I really believe that was Meghan's pushing to do. Without Meghan there, he would have stuck around, probably been frustrated, but dealt with it. The fact that Meghan's cut out her own family is very telling, except for her mother, who still looking on more information about her. But what do you think about all this? Do you believe this? Do you think these friends are spot on? I want to hear your thoughts down below. We got so much more coming, including a report on that visa application. Oh, there's updates coming. So hit that bell, hit that button, smash the thumbs up, leave your comments down below. We got so much more coming for you here on Popcorn Planet, Palace rather, and Popcorn Planet. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.